Hello and welcome to Oracle NetSuite version 2019 Release 1. The 19.1 release has a number of features of interest for manufacturers. This video will touch on a few of the features you might be interested in. Be sure to review the 2019.1 release notes for a full list of upcoming features and to find out more details on what benefits they can provide. As we continue to deliver more global financial capabilities, let me cover some of the highlights in this release. With the 19.1 release, we're introducing our next-gen tax engine, SuiteTax, in a limited release which provides a new tax API that will enable customers to comply with different tax requirements across the globe. SuiteTax will enable companies to determine, calculate, and report sales tax, value-added tax or VAT, and goods and services tax or GST for many geographies including USA, China, and India. Users will no longer have to monitor tax rate changes as they'll be automatically updated in every account for over 100 countries. SuiteTax reporting now offers a great deal of flexibility, such as the option to set default tax codes separately for goods as well as services, domestic and international transactions, and editable templates so you can choose what transactions get reported. The out-of-the-box solution generates localized VAT and GST returns, supplementary output and input tax, and EU cross-border reports. All taxable transactions in SuiteTax now include the new date field, tax point date, that drives the tax determination and reporting, which is a key requirement in markets like Germany and France. SuiteTax has added additional functionality for companies that need to comply with U.S.-based tax laws specifically related to sales and use tax. Features include the ability to enter all relevant information regarding customers' sales tax or exemption certificate on a dedicated page, the ability to indicate which items are generally not taxable for a particular nexus, and assign the item to an exemption certificate from the item record, automatic tax code provisioning and lookup for U.S. sales, and to automatically calculate taxes accurately to ensure compliance across different states. Release 19.1 provides the Deferred VAT Recognition Suite app to enable companies to defer value-added tax recognition according to local tax laws. This is an important feature for companies whose products and/or services are paid in increments over a period of time. The functionality allows users to map a tax code for deferred VAT and compute the deferred VAT recognition amount based on the payment instead of the total invoice amount. This new functionality provides the ability to add approvals on specific payments in accounts payable. When a user creates a payment for a bill, a transaction for a single vendor payment, or an employee expense report, for example, you can now choose to have an approval workflow in order to approve, process, and complete the specific payment. Control is enhanced as the payment cannot be processed until the payment has been approved. This provides better control over the accounts payable process and provides a heightened level of visibility on payments where additional oversight is warranted. It's a common business practice in many countries to pay for purchases and collect payments in installments. To address this business need in 19.1, users will have more flexibility over installment payments and billings, gaining a better understanding of the aging of installment payments and cash receipts. Each installment will be automatically calculated by the system, but can still be edited by the user. By attaching due dates to each installment payment or cash receipt, it will be easier to track which installment is due, paid, or needs to be investigated. With the installments feature, companies now have an easier time and improved efficiency in managing installments in the accounts payable and accounts receivable processes. This feature will provide companies with improved functionality as well as maintain better controls over cash flow. NetSuite adds the ability for companies to comply with the new lease accounting standard ASC 842 and IFRS 16. The 19.1 feature introduces a new record called Lease Proposal. This stores the lease information, including lease company, lease contract number, lease term, start and end date of the lease, as well as if it is a finance or capital lease. Users can enter their lease payments and NetSuite will compute for the net present value and interest automatically. It also automatically creates the corresponding lease journal entry to recognize the lease and the lease liability. Lease assets are amortized as scheduled and go through the complete asset lifecycle. Let me share some of the highlights in the 19.1 release for product-centric companies. In the 18.2 release, we announced the general availability of the merchandise hierarchy feature, which is an important tool for running an efficient, successful retail business. The primary benefit of merchandise hierarchy is to provide detailed reports that drive smarter business decisions. In the 19.1 release, we're introducing enhancements to the merchandise hierarchy user interface. Instead of users having to navigate away from the Hierarchy Manager UI to the item record to add or remove items, they can now add or remove items from the merchandise hierarchy nodes directly from the Hierarchy Manager user interface, leading to a better experience and improved productivity. NetSuite continues to deliver broader and deeper functionality for manufacturers. And in the 19.1 release, we're pleased to announce a wide range of enhancements that will deliver increased usability in many areas. Some highlights include CSV importing for advanced BOMs will drastically simplify the process to import new BOMs. The buildable quantity is now available for saved searches and Suite Analytics workbooks. This will provide instant visibility into your ability to complete work orders based on available inventory, and can easily be used in supporting capable to promise (CTP) and available to promise (ATP) calculations. You can now choose to issue materials to a work order in any related unit of measure. This will simplify the production process and result in increased inventory accuracy. The Supply Chain Snapshot was recently introduced as a part of the Supply Chain Control Tower to provide customers a single screen with a global view of their supply chain-related transactions. In the 19.1 release, we've made a number of additional fields available to further enhance this powerful feature. Multi-subsidiary businesses will be able to add the entity to the columns list to easily identify the related company, while adding the original transaction date and calculated days past due will further enhance customers' ability to quickly act on the information they're receiving. In the 19.1 release, the NetSuite MES tablet application offers support for all work order types, greatly simplifying work order reporting. Each location can now be configured to use different levels of manufacturing functionality while using the same tablet for data collection. This new update provides direct visibility to built, buildable, and shortage amounts based upon component availability, as well as automated selection of bin and lot or serial information based on user-defined rules. The new MES tablet app will significantly increase the ability to quickly and accurately collect production information regardless of the work order configuration they're using. In 2019 Release 1, we're announcing new capabilities in the Suite Approvals Suite app, providing more control and visibility of internal processes in a company. The new Super Approver capability allows a business process owner to expedite the approvals of transactions by acting as the final approver of a transaction. With the new Skip Approver capability, a transaction can automatically be routed to the approver with a minimal approval limit. We're also extending the Suite Approvals functionality to procurement transactions, allowing the business process owners to have more control on internal workflows. In keeping with NetSuite's expansion into international markets, the 19.1 release will see the Quality Management tablet app available in all the languages that NetSuite supports. This user-friendly application will significantly enhance the ability of our global customers to ensure that they're receiving and manufacturing products of the optimal quality. Finally, a top customer enhancement request has been delivered with the addition of the Communications tab in Item and Manufacturing Records. Activities, files, and user notes can now be associated with all of these records, significantly increasing your ability to collaborate across the enterprise. Moving on to the highlights in the commerce area. The cart is positioned at the end of the path to purchase, at the intersection of buy and abandon, and is perhaps the most important page in an online store. NetSuite for B2B Commerce provides a range of tools to help you tailor the shopping experience and encourage your customers to put more items in their shopping carts and spend more money. The new B2B Cart feature provides the ability for multiple users from a single customer to create individual carts instead of a single shared cart, enabling users to utilize the same vendor account without affecting each other's stored shopping carts. Each contact will have their own cart, and contacts will not be able to see each other's cart contents, submit unfinished orders, or remove items added by a different contact. In the 18.2 release, we introduced the Advanced Transaction Email feature, which provided email templates that could be used out of the box without heavy customizations, elevating subscriber engagement with easy-to-use and ready-to-go email templates. In the 19.1 release, we've added a preview enhancement that allows users to see how the emails will look before sending them. Users can now see what the message looks like on your customer's end, check for any errors, improve the look and feel, and make necessary changes before sending the email out. We have improved our user interface. NetSuite is continuously improving the user interface and enhancing the user experience to make the solution more user-friendly and intuitive, which increases productivity while enhancing user engagement. Instead of crowded, menu-driven screens overloaded with push-based information flows, NetSuite's configurable modern user interface looks and feels more like a consumer-grade application. In the 19.1 release, NetSuite dashboards have a new look and feel. The clean, more modern visual design makes it faster and easier to consume key business insights at a glance, including a redesigned KPI meter. You can now display multi-series charts and trend graph portlets, comparing up to 3 KPIs, both standard and custom. The headline KPIs are more bold and distinct, including a mini trend graph, enabling you to act quickly on insights. To see the full list of KPIs, you can expand and collapse the list under the headline KPIs. Last but certainly not least, let me touch upon the highlights in the human capital management area. In the 19.1 release, we're continuing to invest in expanding core HR capabilities. Previously, there was no standardized way to track the transitions an employee has as they move through the stages of their employee lifecycle. However, with the introduction of employee status categories in the 19.1 release, such as pre-hire and active, NetSuite will be able to track employee transitions with improved consistency to create better reports and analytics to help you understand your workforce. Most importantly, the introduction of employee status categories allows the organization to come to alignment on the definition of an active employee. In the future, status categories will reduce manual HR processes by triggering automatic workflows, such as onboarding processes and more. NetSuite will also help you manage time-off expiry alerts by allowing you to toggle expiry notifications for various time-off types. HR now has more control over how employees are reminded of their expiration at year-end. With the 19.1 release, your sensitive HR and employee data will become even more secure. Core Administration Permission, CAP for short, allows you to carefully manage access to highly regulated data. It's now easier than ever before to configure a role in NetSuite with all of the administrative abilities without the access to sensitive HR and employee data. Core Administration Permission, CAP, can be enabled via a checkbox on the Role Setup page. It's now easier to manage employees' NetSuite system access and assign roles to employees. This means that any role with this permission will be able to manage system access for employees without also needing to access their entire employee record and all the sensitive information within. This new permission, called the Employee Access Permission, can be enabled via the Role page as a line item on the Employee Access tab. Services, warehouse, and manufacturing are examples of industries with a high number of hourly workers. With the 19.1 release, NetSuite can support these labor-intensive industries. Employee type categories, such as contingent and contract worker, improve your ability to classify your workforce for better reporting analytics. Like employee status categories, the introduction of type categories will eventually help you reduce manual HR processes by triggering automatic workflows. Industries such as services, warehouse, and manufacturing also tend to have employees that are paid based on the number of hours they work, meaning that companies need the ability to automatically accrue time off based on their hours and the employee's hourly accrual rate. With the 19.1 release, companies can define hourly accrual time off rules, which are used to automatically calculate employees' time off accruals. NetSuite's time off plans not only support fixed amount accruals based on annual entitlement, but also hourly accruals, based on an hourly rate and time off that's set as track only. With the 19.1 release, payroll customers will have granular control when posting payroll transactions to the GL. They'll no longer have to manually create adjustment entries after running payroll to get the employee advances to the right account. Instead, they can post earnings and deductions to asset accounts. SuiteScript is also supported using a new asset account field on a payroll item. Additionally, in this release, class, department, and location can be set for each individual line of a paycheck entry, including earnings, deductions, company contributions, and taxes. These values can even be set on the employee's timesheets and carried over onto the paycheck without any additional effort. Finally, payroll customers can now report amounts in Box 14 of an employee's W-2 with a descriptive label. This means that customers can much more easily communicate on an employee's tax form how much was allocated to their plan on an annual basis. There are many new and improved features in 2019 Release 1, and these were just the highlights. To learn more about the new features I covered and the many that I didn't have time for, please visit your new release portlet and read the release notes. It's also a great idea to make sure you access your preview account when it's made available to you. This is a great way to see hands-on how the new features work with your own data. It's a free part of the service you get as a NetSuite customer, and we really encourage you to take advantage of your release preview access period. Enjoy this amazing new release.